Let's talk about unit vectors. Unit vectors actually have a magnitude of 1. What this means is that, remember that magnitude means length, so it has a length of 1. If we look at the vector 8, 6, 8, 6 is this vector here. We have to figure out what the length of this vector is in order to see if it is a unit vector or not. So let's find the magnitude. The magnitude, remember that the magnitude of 8, 6 is just equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. 8 is our a, so we're going to have 8 squared plus 6 squared. And 8 squared is just 64. So we have 64 plus 6 squared is 36. So the square root of 24 plus 36, that is equal to the square root of 100, because 64 plus 36 is 100, which is just equal to 10. So that means that the length of this vector here is 10. This means that this is not a unit vector, but we can find what the unit vector is. So the unit vector has to have a length of 1. So this little unit vector here, we're going to find the vector that has a length of 1. In order to do that, what we can do is take the vector, which was 8, 6, and divide each of the components by the magnitude, which was 10. So if we divide each of them by 10, this would be the unit vector, because now the length of it would be 1. So in general, what we can say is that the unit vector is the components a and b both over the magnitude of the vector. So we can take both components a and b and divide them each by the magnitude, and this would tell us what the unit vector is. So let's try another one. If we have the vector -3, 12, let's find the magnitude of this vector. So we have the magnitude of 3, 12. This would be equal to the square root of -3 squared plus 12 squared. And if we compute this, -3 squared is 9 plus 12 squared is 144. So this is just equal to the square root of 9 plus 144 is 153. And we can simplify the square root of 153 into the square root of 9 times the square root of 17. So this is just going to be 3 square root of 17. So our unit vector would be -3 over 3 square root of 17, comma, 12 over 3 square root of 17. And we can simplify this. Whenever you can simplify, always simplify. So this is going to be negative, our 3's can cancel out, so this is going to be -1 over the square root of 17, comma, we can simplify 12 and 3, so that's going to be 4 on the numerator and the square root of 17 in the denominator, because if we divide 12 divided by 3, that's 4. And now, we cannot have a square root in the denominator. So what we're going to want to do is multiply the square root of 17 to both the numerator and denominator of this fraction. So we can do that to both of these fractions here. So multiply the square root of 17 to both of them, and we would get that this is equal to negative square root of 17 over 17, comma, 4 square root of 17 over 17. So this is our unit vector. And that's how you can find it. So it's always going to follow this general form. Whenever you're looking for the unit vector, you can always take the components a and b and divide them by the magnitude. Hope that helped. Stay tuned for the next video.